Hey everybody, it's the Ioniq guy. If you're new to the channel, my name's Corbin and I cover all things Hyundai Ioniq brand. So, I've been sitting on this news for about a week now, just keeping it to myself, and I finally got confirmation from Hyundai today that I can disclose it to all of my very valued viewers. So if you want to find out this news, stay tuned. So over about the last 4 months, I would say, I've been in contact with Hyundai's engineering. And every once in a while, I'll poke them and prod them and ask them specifically about the update that we all have been expecting to get battery preconditioning for all-wheel drive Hyundai Ioniq 5s here in the United States. So if you're not familiar, the 2022 model year Hyundai Ioniq 5 has a battery heating system. That came with the all-wheel drive versions. Rear-wheel drive does not have battery heating. The issue is that if you want to go and charge this car at an Electrify America or EVgo station in any temperature, say lower than 75 degrees, the battery isn't at its ideal state in regard to charging speed. So the battery wants to be at about 75 degrees to accept the full 235 kilowatts of peak charging. So in the winter time, which is when I purchased my Ioniq 5, I got it January 2022, I planned on charging exclusively at Electrify America stations. And I quickly realized that when you get to a station and plug in, you're not getting that full 235, 240 kilowatts of charging power. In the dead of winter here in New England, I was lucky if I got up to 150 kW. So as soon as you plug in and start charging, the car will begin ramping up the battery heater and trying to bring the battery up to its ideal temperature for charging. The problem is we can't manually engage this. So if I know I'm going to an EA station and I want to be able to charge at full charging potential, I don't have that option. I can't just click a button or enter a EA destination in the navigation system, navigate there, and have the battery already preconditioned and warmed up. Now this is something Teslas have been doing for quite a while, and other EVs are starting to adopt a similar strategy to make sure that their cars that they advertise as being able to charge in this amount of time can actually charge in that amount of time. So with the 2022 Ioniq 5 all-wheel drive, we know that it has the hardware necessary to heat the battery. It just doesn't turn itself on until the car is already plugged in and charging at Electrify America or EVgo or ChargePoint. So for about a week now, I have known this information and I wasn't allowed to share it until today. I got off the phone with Hyundai a little while ago and they gave me the go-ahead. This is where you're going to hear this exclusively. 2022 Hyundai Ioniq 5 all-wheel drives will not be getting a software update to allow for battery preconditioning in cold temperatures. Hate to break it to you guys, I'm bummed too as an owner. I was really hoping that this was going to be coming, and sadly it's not. All I know with 100% surety is that this applies to the United States. I don't know about Canada, I don't know about Europe, but we should find out relatively soon. Now there were some European countries where they were told that this was going to be an update to their 2022s. So maybe those countries are going to get it, but they might have just determined that the market here in the United States is just too much larger, and it would just be too much of a detriment to the dealerships to have to update all the different modules in the car. So Hyundai's engineering team here in North America has been working on this issue for many months now. I even saw some photographs of what they were planning to do in terms of the navigation system. So what Hyundai's team was envisioning was a button on the EV screen that would allow you to manually activate it, and upon activation, it would give you an estimated time to reach ideal battery conditions, as well as what impact on your range that would have, because using the battery heater does draw some power. So if you are going to be preconditioning for a really long time and you might not make it to the next charger if you're on a road trip, that could be a big problem. And I guess what it ended up coming down to is that every module in the car would need to be updated in some fashion. So all of these various control units in the car would each have to be updated separately from each other because this car is not capable of just getting one software update that can install itself on all these different control modules. So that was their decision ultimately, was that it would just be too much work to update all the different various modules in the car. So that's it, end of story. No battery preconditioning via navigation for the 2022 Hyundai Ioniq 5 all-wheel drive. I think we all kind of knew that this was a toss-up. One of my favorite YouTubers, Marques Brownlee, also known as MKBHD, he always says this: don't buy a product with promised software updates. And I'm fine with that with this car. The car will still charge to nearly 80% in cold weather in about 30 minutes. So that's 11, 12 minutes longer than if you were in perfect, ideal temperature conditions. So for me, I don't usually road trip in the wintertime. This isn't a deal breaker. Now, does that mean I'm still not going to try and get my hands on a 2023? No, I'm still considering trading in or selling my 2022 Ioniq 5 and going with a 2023 limited all-wheel drive, or I might just hold off for the Ioniq 5N, which might come out sometime next year. Now, if you're somebody who's looking to buy an Ioniq 5, this isn't something you need to concern yourself with because the 2023s will have battery preconditioning across the board. Rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, makes no difference. All cars are getting it now. So let's all just be really thankful that we get to drive this awesome car that even in the dead of winter can charge faster than most other cars in its class can charge in the summertime. So that's something to really be happy about. So if you guys appreciate this type of content, like, subscribe. I got a link in the description where you can buy me a coffee or a beer. You can also purchase one of my magnetic eyewear holders for the dashboard of the car. Any amount that you could contribute helps me out, helps me grow the channel, helps me get more leverage with Hyundai to produce videos like this and get more insider information that you guys want to know about. I've got a ton of product reviews coming in the next few weeks and months. I keep having companies sending me products to review for the car, so expect a lot more of that coming in the near future. But until then, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.